Bow down before my psycho power.
For this video, I want to do a Tekken 8 tier list and group all the characters together based on how powerful they are. Of course, all of this is set to change. Harada put a tweet out on Twitter already talking about how the damage, the balancing, everything will be tweaked. So all of this will change probably in the next beta or closed network test if they do one. I think the weakest characters is probably Paul, Leroy, and Claudio. And the reason why I think Leroy Smith is so weak is because his parry no longer parries everything in the game. Grabs can get him. He can still parry rage arts, but just having little things like that chip away at what made him so special. I think he is probably one of the weaker characters. The reason why I think Claudio and Paul Phoenix are kind of the weakest characters is because I'm hesitant to call this a nerf because it's not a nerf, but I think it's a nerf because the way people play these characters in Tekken 7. Paul Phoenix in Tekken 7, people love to spam the death fist. They just death fist. But in Tekken 8, you can't really do that because when you do the death fist, it triggers heat system. When you do it again, you'll waste heat. So it's not really a nerf because like it does less damage or it does this or that. I think it's a nerf because of how Paul Phoenix players used it in past games. They're going to have to use it differently now. And the same thing with Claudio, his running too. Paul Phoenix players would just use that over and over again, and now they can't because it's tied to heat, and they're going to have to activate heat and use heat in order to make that move work. Lily, Nina, Zhao Yu, Law, and Brian Fury, they all kind of can achieve the same heights. They have the same output potential. There isn't anything that they do that's like, wow, this is ridiculous, and they don't really have anything that makes them bad. I really would say, like, if we move up another row, you have Lars, King, and Asuka. I think Asuka is a very interesting case. She's very capable. In the right hands, Asuka can do damage, and I'm tempted to put her above King, above Lars, but the reason why I won't do that is because I think King is a scrub killer. The grabs, no, actually I will move her up. I'll move her above King, but I think King is still really good as well because King has a lot of dangerous stuff. His grab damage got nerfed, and that was pretty insane to see. A lot of people are countering that run with heat and with rage, but once King players sort of adapt and realize that, and they start to stop, and maybe the stop get buffed or something like that, then this character will be more powerful. But King is kind of King, right? He does what you normally would expect, but he doesn't really do more than that. Lars is really powerful, but it's hard to determine how powerful he is. I was tempted to move him up, but I think the top 5 characters in the game is just different. But really, I would say Lars is just as powerful as Jun Kazama in what they could do, and I'll probably move Jun Kazama down, just have these two characters right next to each other. The reason why I put Jun Kazama in front of Lars is because Jun Kazama, she just has a lot. Like, she has that projectile, she can heal, she has a lot of mix-ups. This is crazy, bro. It's like these two characters, they are really good, but I don't know if they're broke. But the top 4 characters in the game, the number 1 most busted character in the game, I think it's a tie between Kazuya and Jin Kazama. It really comes down to how good the player is. Jin, you give him to a casual online player and he is going to be unstoppable. Kazuya, you give him to a tournament player and he is going to be also incredibly hard to stop. And I think this is going to carry over. Even though a lot of their combos or their damage is going to get nerfed, I think they still are going to be some of the most powerful characters in the game because that's how it's always been, Jack 8 is a very interesting case. I wonder what will happen to him. It kind of reminds me of Tekken 7. When Tekken 7 first came out, this guy was top tier and they nerfed him. Now at the start of Tekken 8, we're getting our hands on the game, and once again, he's a god. But I think he is really strong. His combo damage is incredible. He's a character to watch out for. Harang. I really want to put Harang up higher, but I just don't know. Maybe he is higher than Jack, but Kazuya and Jin, I think they're on a different level. But the thing about Harang, bro, once he gets started, you really can't stop him. And the reason why I won't put him like higher than Jin and Kazuya because they have every tool. They have everything, right? They can do it all. But Harang, what's carrying him right now is how fast he's moving, how unable to press buttons you are. If you take that away, if you slow him down, he probably would drop down with all the other characters. But just how aggressive he can get and how you can't stop him, that is what's carrying him so hard. And I think in the next version of the game, he's probably going to come down a little bit. That's what I think it is right now. But this is all going to change the next time we play the game.